Hey, otakus. We're coming to you. It's Sunday night. Hope everybody had a relaxing weekend. But Roger and I are just jumping on because we Roger got the books
We're
and
good.
we are going to go over sort of the game plan. This is the planning session. So I'm very interested to get Roger's thoughts now he has the books in front of him.
I do, and I haven't seen them. I've left them in the package. I did take the tape and all that off the back because I don't when I have comics around. That's what I do, right? Because I've been burnt before. But yeah, I have 5 comics, and yeah, we're gonna see what you want. I'll give you my suggestions, and we're gonna decide how much you want to, get into the conservation of these. Um,
Yeah, let me start there.
mhm.
So I am not going to ever submit these to CGC,
Okay.
and a lot of them have sort of issues with like tearing and especially that Lois Lane book. We'll talk about it when we get into it, but
Yeah.
there's some staple tears there that need to be addressed, and I'd rather have it be a stable book moving forward than any kind of uh, you know, graded kind of book, CGC graded book. So
Okay.
yeah, just that's where we have it. So
Okay. Hey Tyler. Hey Kat. Welcome. All right. So let's see what we got, and we'll talk about it. I'm going to turn the camera, kind of pan it down, and so we can both look at the comics while we're discussing them. All
yeah.
right, so bear with me while I try to get this set up the way that it will work
Welcome, Moldy
here.
Braven.
Yeah, that's Cat. All right, let's see. I got to put a light here. This is all like impromptu stuff here,
Yeah.
So here's the comic. I think you can see most of it there.
Yep.
Okay. And one of my favorite story arcs, Judas Contract. I'm sorry.
Mhm.
And did you know that this is a Canadian edition?
Is it okay? Yeah, I
Notice
got
the
this in Canada. That makes sense.
Okay. Notice the 95 cents here.
Okay,
Uh, and here in the United States, it was 75 cents. We never had 95 cents
gotcha.
DPs. Yeah, so that's good. Makes it a little bit more special, right? Um, so let's take it out and take a look. Let's put a clear paper on there. Although my board is clean, I always like to do that, and also, of course, clean your hands before you deal with comics because
Mhm.
oils and so forth. Although I have very dry hands normally, believe it or not, I have to put lotion, things like that. But let's not get into that. That's old man stuff. Um, all right, so let's see. Right now, I can feel it. It's a very wavy. Obviously, it's been through some moisture at some point.
Mhm.
But you have a really good color strike here. I don't think there's any color loss due to the humidity.
Mhm.
There are some, well, maybe I misspoke. It looks down here like there's something going on. Might be color loss there. I'm not sure. And
Okay.
there, you see that there?
Mhm. Yeah.
Right,
And
right there.
that's from moisture, you're saying?
It might be. Yeah, it might be. That looks like it happens a lot with Charltons. They're very sensitive to moisture, and if moisture is there for a while, color will lift.
Mhm.
Um, so that might be that. We'll see. We'll see. There's a little bit of something down here in the UPC. As you can see there, might be dirt. Nope. Looks like that's some kind of mold right there. See that there?
Mhm.
Yeah. That looks like some kind of mold. And definitely up here, there's a
Yeah.
big mold colony right there.
Yep.
All right. So that's going to have to be addressed.
Mhm.
And I see a little bit down this side of here as
Mhm.
well. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Inside there is some as well over here.
Yep.
Okay, and a little bit down below. But again, I have ideas for handling that.
Mm-hmm.
And here we have some on the third page. And inside, if you can see here, we're talking, there's a little bit of color bleed through.
Okay.
Right there. Probably from this ad here.
Hey, Kenneth.
Hey, Kenneth. The pages
What's up,
are
brother?
a little bit, how can I say this? A little bit on the raggedy side. They don't feel crisp.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably due to the moisture. That will come back a little bit when we humidify it and press it. But it just feels a little like crunchy, kind of, so lack of a better term.
It's stiff.
Yes, correct. That's right. A little bit here, no big deal there. But yeah, there obviously it's been through some moisture, some prolonged moisture at some point, and some mold spores have taken residence in the paper pulp. Okay.
Right.
And again, toward the interior, it's less. Toward the exterior, it's a little bit more. So let's look at the back cover before we decide. Definitely some very good amount of mold there. And down here along this edge. And here we have some color bleed through for something. I'm not sure. It could be from whatever it was next to here. See that? All right. And there's definitely some mold over in this area as well. All right. So this would be my suggestion.
Okay.
I would suggest that we do a water with very light, maybe 5% bleach soak on the cover, because I was gonna say we could try to do it on the perimeter, but there's some on the interior as well.
Okay.
So, you're if you're gonna do it, then you might as well, get rid of the whole thing.
Yeah.
The interior is a lot more fragile, so we have to be more careful there. So what I want to do with the interior is I'm actually going to only try to do the edges, like hold it in the water.
Okay.
I have a little clothesline, a comic line, and I can suspend it in the water here and on the edge and the bottom, and we could try it that way, because I'm afraid of soaking this whole thing because there's so much color in here, and it's already there's already some bleed through here. I'm afraid that if we soak the interior, that could really damage it.
Yeah. And I'm not so concerned with getting the interior looking immaculate, as long as it's that mold is not going to spread, and which I anticipate, as long as we store it properly, it wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, it should be. If you keep it, obviously low humidity, low temperature. I would still keep it, isolated, from other comics. Don't do what I do and put 2 in a bag,
Yeah.
All right. So I'm writing some notes here, Borum. First, we'll do the basic clean, which won't be, honestly, I don't see it very dirty at all. That is one thing I do not see. Bright colors. I don't see really much of any dirt at all. It all looks to be the color transfer and the mold. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'll give it a basic clean. I always do that anyway.
Okay.
And then we'll do the mold remediation.
So we're gonna essentially detach the cover and then soak it in the bleach solution.
That's correct. We're gonna detach the cover carefully. There is let me see how the staples look. There's a little bit of rust on that edge and right there as well. I don't know if you can tell from the light. Right there, you can see some rust.
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
And a little bit there. So I will clean up the staples when I do that. There's already some spine stress around the staples, so you're probably not going to be much different if we disassemble the book and reassemble it.
Gotcha.
All right. Let's look at the interior to see how the staples are looking on the inside. There is there is some, as you can see over here.
Okay.
Some staining, some sweating from the staples.
Mm-hmm.
That happens when, again, humidity is on there for a while. It does tend to migrate out a bit. And definitely the interior of the staples are rusty.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about that. You can see the migration there and a little bit there. Okay.
Great.
But not terrible. I've seen much worse than that. I mean,
yeah.
This is, I would say, on the mild side. Okay. So I will say on the edges, interior, you want me to be very careful of that, right? So minimal on the edge. Okay. And then we will do a 30-minute hot press. And I will say about a 10-hour cold press. And then we'll see how it looks at that point. Of course, it depends on how the mold goes. I may have to soak it various times, but I'll let you know about that as we go along.
In terms of the mold soak, because I know if we soak it too long, it will, it would basically the paper would start to, there'd be a good amount of wear on the paper. So what is a good timeline for you in terms of the soak itself? Is it just like overnight or?
Oh, no. Heck no. No. With a 5% solution to a 5% ratio to water, I will keep it in there about 20 minutes.
Okay.
Right. And then I have this lace paper, which is like Ramée paper, and which adheres to the cover so that it doesn't rip or anything when it's wet, it's weak, right?
Yeah.
So I'll soak it in there. I'll take it out. I'll examine it, see how it's progressing.
Mm-hmm.
There's always the risk of color loss, of course, because every comic is its own little individual. And this one has really good color, so I'm going to be extra careful about when I soak it to make sure I check it at 20-minute intervals. I'll check it at 20 minutes at first. I'll put it back in the same solution, maybe another 15 minutes, check it again. If I like the results at that point, I'll take it out. If it's just a little bit, I'm not going to push it because I'd rather have a little bit there than have a lot of color loss, and then I'll let it dry, and then I will soak it again to take out the bleach, right? So this will probably be a 2-day process. 2 to 3 with the pressing on this one.
Okay.
And then a 10-hour cold press, and then check again, and it may need a second press. We'll see about that, depending on how it goes. All right. How's everybody in the chat doing?
Everybody looks like they're kind of doing their salutations. Hey, all Damien, right. Welcome.
Yeah, dryer sheets can get rid of smell. That's true. And you can also try like baking soda. All right, let's go to the next one. That's this beauty. Thor 337, the first Beta Ray Bill, and the first Walt Simonson story arc, I believe.
Yes.
Or very close to it. All right, so let's give a good look here to the audience. Hey, Damien, how you doing? All right. So, first of all, newsstand copy. So that's cool. I like that. Right down here, I can see some pen
Mhm,
strokes here, looks like.
mhm.
Okay. A little bit of a dent there, some pressure creasing here, looks like. And we'll talk about this in a minute. Lot of spine stress, and there is a spine roll toward the inside. A lot of spine stress there, and a lot of spine stress there. A lot of cross stressing here on the spine as well. And there's a big crease up here. I don't know, maybe you can't see that from my angle, but right over here,
Mhm.
you can see
Yep.
that crease that breaks color through the R, the upper
Yeah.
part of the R there. Um, I don't think this is color loss. That's the hammer going through, so that's fine. Not really that dirty, to tell you the truth, Otaku.
Right?
Not really that dirty at all. Little bit over here. But we have these little fellas here,
Yep. Yep.
and that looks to be foxing.
Mhm.
And as you can see, it has penetrated the cover
Mhm.
over here. So I have some ideas for foxing to get rid of that. I'm not going to soak this cover because there's too much risk and this
Yeah.
with these little bits of foxing. So I'm going to spot treat these.
Okay.
I have a hydrogen peroxide and chloride solution, which I've used before and had fairly good results.
Okay.
I will say that these are a little bit darker than the ones that I used it on. These are lighter here.
Mhm.
So we'll see what happens, but it'll at least be better than it is now. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's look at the inside here. Hold on, let me put this on the Teen Titans before I forget and write the wrong notes on the wrong comic. I've done that before. That's why I wrote the title up here because old man memories or lack of. All right. Let's look at the back cover real quick before we go on the interior. As you can see, spine roll, obviously tapered to the top. So it was obviously it was pressure put on this while it was the comic was already slanted a bit. There's some overspray, looks like, right down here. I don't think
Okay.
that's color transfer or anything like that. The back, just that same crease over here.
Mhm.
So this
Oh, wow,
whole
it went all the way through. Okay.
well, yeah, this whole corner was bent at some point, and then they flattened it out. Minimal dirt really on here, not too bad. Little bit over here, I think, a little bit of creasing there. So the back cover has a really good gloss. The front cover, the gloss is not too great.
Yeah, it looks a little faded. I figured it's I don't know. I feel like this has been maybe was kept outside of a bag, possibly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, probably with this being exposed to a little bit of light, and that's why it's it's not non-glossy, but it's definitely not like really glossy, right?
Right.
So, and there is a little indentation here and right there. But again, that pressing, we'll get rid of that. So let's look at the interior and then we'll look at the game plan, all right?
Yeah.
Let's see here. I'm not sure what this is over here. Not sure what that is, Otaku. It might be.
Just dirt, maybe.
No, I don't think that's dirt. I think that might be. See over here?
Mhm.
So I think that might be part of the from the printing process, a little bit of ink smear.
Okay.
Yeah. And over here, let's see what this is. Yeah, same thing. So this is just a printing defect, essentially. That's
Gotcha.
not much we can do about that without disassembling the book and soaking the page. And we don't want to do that because then we're going to, ooh, look at that art, huh? Ooh, fabulous. Yep, you see over here, it's just part of the printing. They didn't clean the roller very well, looks like.
Gotcha.
All that happened. Yeah. That happens. Charltons are really known for that. Yeah, right there. Yeah, definitely. Pages look a little bit creamy.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little ink, probably from that same roller issue, but not terrible. But right there, you can see a lot of that splotching from the rollers. But again, this is a printing defect. That's nothing that anybody did to it. Beautiful comic, beautiful art by Simonson here. It's a little bit miscut, as I can tell here. Notice up here.
Oh yeah.
You have an edge, and down here you're
much shorter there.
Much less, yeah. Yeah. But again, these are all printing defects. You just got one of those copies that, over here you can really see the ink from the rollers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the little residue over here for sure. You can see it. Okay. If centerfold is loose, that's not a problem. I can reattach that. It's weird. That is not ripped through. It looks like it just wasn't stapled right.
Mm.
Yeah. The top one, same thing. Okay, well, that's good news in a sense, because when I put it back in, I won't really have to do. Yeah, see how it's weird. It's weird how the staples opened up there. Yeah. Probably when it was put under a lot of pressure from that spine roll, it creeped out of there. Yeah, okay, right there. Okay. Not much more to see here. Just
in terms of the correcting the spine roll, I know we get it. We introduce it to moisture. We get it kind of where the fibers are kind of loose, right?
Right.
But this already has sort of a paper memory of being, not aligned. So what is it? Is it just kind of like where you align it with your hands and then just kind of press a new crease to have it set and then press that?
With a spine roll this severe, yeah, you're right. Paper does have a memory, so we have to essentially reprogram the paper.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to do if it's not very severe, you can actually remold it after you humidify it.
Right.
And it might take. But when it's this severe, that probably is not a good idea, because you're going to be pulling a lot of the cover and a lot of the paper over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this flat first. So it's like a sheet.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then I use a dowel, and after the humidity, I will put a dowel there so it reforms the spine.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I think that's probably the best way to do it when it's this severe. Because if I humidify it and I try to, do this thing,
right,
I'm going to put a lot more stress on here.
Right. Yeah.
And although there is a lot of stress already, I don't want to add more. Right.
Right.
All right. So let's write the plan for this one. First of all, spot clean foxing. And if you want to add anything to Taku, let me know. All right. Obviously we're talking about basic clean.
How do you address the pen mark? Is it like a chemical wash on that one?
Okay, that's a good question. The ink removal. Ink removal. Okay, I'm glad you said that. Yes, over here. Ink removal. Okay, the good thing is it's on the white, right? So on the white area, it's a lot easier to remove ink. Now, sometimes depending on the ink, it will fiercely try to hold on to it. But I'm gonna attack this in 3 ways. I'm gonna try a little bit of eraser, just
Okay.
a gum eraser. Okay,
Hmm.
and I'm gonna try a little bit of lighter fluid to loosen it up.
Hmm.
Okay, and then I can use a magic eraser to finish it off.
Okay.
All right. Now you have to be very careful with magic erasers because it is an abrasive.
Yeah.
So you see that ink there, that ink there, and that ink there will definitely come off if you're not careful.
Right.
So I do a little sliver and I just I just go like that, you know. So it doesn't move. Essentially I put like a little piece on there and I just move it around in there. But it may come off with the gum eraser um, and the lighter fluid. All
Yeah.
right.
I mean, if
So
it doesn't come off, that's fine. If it just ends up looking a little less,
oh no, it'll be less. Yeah,
noticeable.
it'll be
Yeah.
less. I mean, it may not come out completely, but it'll definitely lessen quite a few,
Right.
quite a
Right.
bit. Let's see, eraser. All right, all right. Um, then of course we have the removal, spine roll removal. And again, I'm not going to take out the staples for that. I'm going to press it down, but not like with a whole lot of pressure, just enough to flatten it. Okay,
Okay.
flatten. Um, Let me see what else. Anything else I left out here?
I think you got it because this one's again, like you said, just misaligned. It's not. There's no mold issue or anything like that,
No.
except for the foxing on the
Yeah.
cover.
There's this here, which again, I think I can lessen that for sure.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that's the good game plan there. Again, hot press. I'm gonna I'm gonna hot press it a little bit more. I would say about 40 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Because there's such a severe amount of creasing here that I want to really get that heat infused in there and
Yeah.
and really crunch it. Okay. It's 3 a.m. I'm using my tongue. Hey, okay, all right. Again, we're not pros at this, by the way. We're just doing what experience has told us works. All right. And then I'm gonna do again. This is after we flatten it and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
So hot press 40 minutes, and then cold press. I'd say 12 hours for this sucker. Yeah. I want to make sure that once we got that spine roll removed, that it has a whole new memory structure.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going to be a half a day in the cold press, and
Yeah.
then we'll reevaluate it. I may need to turn it around and cold press it more, but again, we evaluate after
Yeah.
this initial set of priorities or process that we go through.
Okay.
All
Yeah.
right.
Take as long as you need.
All right. All right. Yeah.
All right,
Let's
so
see what
I do want to go back to the or just go over the two books you've covered so far.
Yeah.
So, in terms of your kind of opinion on what the grades are right now,
Right.
and in terms of like just presentation wise, what you think it would be after you've worked on them.
Well, kind of depends. I'd say that the Teen Titans 44 with that waviness and that mold. I mean, I'm not sure what Overstreet standards are for that, but probably a 2 or 2.5, somewhere in there. Just because of the accumulation of defects. But I think if we can remove that mold And we can definitely I can flatten this. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But if we can remove that mold and get this flattened and without much color loss, I think this could be at least a 5. It's not
Okay.
even,
Yeah.
Again, there's probably not going to be because of the interior. I think I don't know how much of that is going to look good. So
Yeah.
otherwise it could be higher, but yeah, I think if you can get it to a 5, I think that'd be pretty good. The Thor, yeah, it's probably 253 somewhere in there. I'd say more 25, honestly,
Okay.
because of the accumulation of defects. But we can get this. We can definitely get this much better. The spine stress is going to be what really holds it down. But yeah, I think a 4 is possible.
4? Yeah, I was that's what I was hoping, like around a 4, 4, 5.
Yeah, I think a 4 is definitely possible.
Okay.
I shoot low. We'll talk to you. 4 or 5 could be, but again, I don't know that much about the grading standard, so I don't want to put myself out as an expert grader. I'm not. All right. Gorgeous comic here. Neil Adams, Detective 412. Let me put it this way for the audience here. Absolutely gorgeous cover. I don't think I've ever seen this comic in live, in front of me before. And boy, Ed, it's just gorgeous details here. Okay. So we have a little bit of a tear, rip, whatever, over here. And we have a lot of corner creasing over here.
Yep. I actually had to kind of flatten that out because it was kind of crunched together when
yeah, I kind of figured. Let's see, a lot of stress on the spine, especially around the staples here. Yep. Well, I wouldn't say a lot. A fair, I would say a moderate amount. But if you notice those stress marks there, and there, that leads me to believe that, this was like rolled up at some point and back and forth. There is looks like a bit of a spine roll as well. Yep. See here, but this one at least is pretty even, which is good. Let's see. Let me turn it around here so I can see my perspective. Doesn't look to be really dirty at all. Really good color on the trade dress over here. There is some dirt on the spine on the white part, but again, that's because people hold it there and all that. Yeah, inside cover is pretty clean. So yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Obviously a lot of creasing, but not a lot of. It's mostly like on the perimeter is the creasing, not in the middle of the comic, not where the main art is, which is good.
You spoke about using the wheat paste. How would you use that in the context of this book?
Okay.
Because I do want you to do that with this.
Okay. So you have this rip here.
Yeah.
Or a tear, which is right where you would normally handle the comic, right there. Okay. Right. So we could do it one of two ways. This rip is really not that big. So what I would suggest is we just put a thin layer of that wheat paste right there.
Yeah.
On the inside. It'll dry in about 40 minutes after we take care of it because it's water soluble, right?
Yeah.
And I doubt you'll be able to even see much of that tear.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Now there is a little bit of an edge there, which hopefully the press will align that a little better, right? Well, we'll see. But really not too bad on this one, in my opinion. This looks to be improvable. Again, this creasing down here and the dog eared and all that. That oh, the obviously the color breaks. Not much you can do about that, but it'll certainly look better, than it does now, because right now it's got this curl on all along this edge here,
Right.
and this indentation here. All that once we fix the spine roll, and I will put either a cardboard or one of these sheets here under all that pressure. That should straighten out. All right.
Okay.
All right. Back cover. Let's see. Looks like this looks like creasing done at the printers right here.
Yeah.
That does not look like it was done afterwards. The roller
is that difficult to get out because it's been
what the press might flatten this a little bit, because what this is actually the two parts of the cover are actually like a mountain. They kind of pushed into each other and out.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of a raised edge to it. So the press might push that down a little bit, but you'll still be able to see a little bit of that. Okay. Looks like some foreign matter here. We'll get rid of that. Looks like a stain up here. I don't know if you can see that at the camera angle, but right over here. Yeah. Some kind of stain. And it goes through. I don't know. It might be coffee. Might be able to get that out though.
Okay.
There's a little bit of a tear up here. Let me put it this way so you guys can see it better. Move my phone. Right there.
Okay. Yep.
Actually, no, that is not a tear. That is not a tear.
Okay.
But it's raised. That's weird. I don't know what that is. But we'll see what we can do about that. This one, the back cover is a bit dirty. You can see here, probably from when it was up against something else, a table or something. The back of the spine doesn't look too bad. A little bit of a crease there, a little bit of a stress there. Yeah, not too bad. Nothing major on this one, I would say. Let's take a look on the inside. I'll look at this way so people can see better their angle.
I think the interiors, is it Irv Novick? Who's the? Oh, Bob Brown.
Bob Brown and Dick Giordano on the inks.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice book right there.
Yeah, it is. Bob Brown is really underrated. He did some good Avengers work as well.
And he had such a long career too.
Very long career, yeah. He just wasn't on a lot of the big comics, Yeah. Looks like a little bit of that roller ink there, but not too bad. Not nearly as bad as that Thor. Looks like the pages are off-whitish.
Okay.
Not too bad. Little bit more on the edge maybe here, a little bit creamier. But nothing to really worry about. Nothing brittle. Or
I'm actually surprised at the page quality. It looks great.
Considering the age, right? This is from what, 1970 or so. So
yeah.
Staples.
Not too bad.
Staples are good.
Yeah.
Staples are real good. Real tight. No rips. Nothing like that. So that's good. Yeah, there's not much to talk about. Yeah, a little bit of a crease there, but that'll press out, no problem. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, man. This is gonna be good. mean, compared to those first two suckers,
not as uh
this is going to be a cakewalk.
yeah. Those first two, I was just like, those are,
They're
a lot of
challenging, yeah, for sure.
TLC.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
on that cover there with the staple, because the staples, there's a little stress there. Would you address wheat paste on the 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 spine there as well, on the near the staples?
Let me see, Otaku. No, I don't think that's necessary.
Okay.
No, it's not. They're a little bit recessed in there, but once I take the spine roll out and move that staple here,
Hmm.
then it won't have much pressure, or
Okay,
stress
great.
on them, or
Yeah,
it'll lessen it a bit. Let's put it that way.
perfect.
And these are not deep enough to really. The wheat paste is really not going to do much there.
Okay,
I wouldn't put it. I mean, if once I press it, if I see something happen, then I'll let you know.
gotcha.
All right. But beautiful comic, honestly. Yeah, beautiful comic.
Nice.
All right, so this is going to be easy. Basic clean. I would say on the moderate side, except for the back cover, that might mean a little more gum eraser and maybe some absorbing. We'll see about that. Yeah, spine roll removal. This one, I'm not going to flatten it because it's even.
Yeah.
And it's not as severe. I think I can straighten it after I humidify it.
Yeah.
I think I can straighten. I might have to press it twice, but I think I can straighten it. Okay.
Nice.
So that, and then we will we'll use the paste on that rip.
The tear.
The tear. Sorry. Yep, tear. Inside. And hot press. 30 minutes, I'd say, is good enough. And cold press. Because of the spine roll, let's do 12 hours, just to be sure. Okay.
Nice.
Anything else that I left out?
No, I am really anxious to see this one after it's done. I think it's gonna.
Yeah, I think it's gonna look a lot better for sure.
Yeah.
So let's put it back in there carefully, and we'll put its note here. All right. How's the chat doing? Yeah, that is an awesome cover, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. All right. Now let's look at this one. Now this one is interesting. This is a square bound.
Yeah.
And a gorgeous cover. Kurt Swan, maybe?
Kurt Swan on pencils and Neil Adam on inks.
I was going to say, the face here, that's Neil Adams.
Yeah.
So great combination, by the way.
Right.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful cover. Great color strike on this. Lovely color strike. Bright, glossy, dynamite stuff here. Yeah, really, really good. Let's see. So a little bit of dirt here. There's a little bit, you can see the square bounds. This happens a lot, right? Where the staple impressions come through to the cover.
Mm-hmm.
This one's actually not as bad as many I've seen.
Yeah. There is a little bit of a tear there at the bottom along the spine. I'm sure you'll see it at some point.
Right there. Right there?
That one, and then near the spine as well at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, spine. Oh, down here. Yeah.
Yeah, right there. A little split.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me turn it around so I can get my perspective. Yeah, there's some. not sure what that is there. I guess that's the staple pressing through. No, that's too high. I'm not sure what that is, but it looks like, unless it looks like somebody twisted the cover here and caused a lot of stress there actually on the square bound part. Some dirt here. I think that's dirt. Hold on a second.
Oh, rust.
Yep, right here.
Yeah.
A little bit, not too bad. A little bit. This one's good, but down here. Yeah, a little bit down there. So that might be a little bit of mold there. Might be.
Okay.
But again, not enough to trigger a soaking here.
Right.
I will see what I can do about that. I'll lessen that at least some. Okay, so some dirt, stress. The spine is a little bit wonky.
Yeah.
It's flatter up here, but then it starts to tilt and list here. And then again, there's that tear down here. All right. So the creasing here, a little bit of a ragged edge on top, and on the right, very ragged. Yeah, very ragged edge. So it looks like sometimes this happens with square bound comics, is that, as you can see, the cover goes beyond the interior down here.
Yeah.
On the inside. And when you put comics upon comics upon comics and it folds over, you get this ragged edge. So that probably happened because of that twisting or that jankiness of the spine.
Gotcha.
Yeah. All right. So, all right, let's look at the back cover before we continue. Back cover. Some dirt over here, a little bit of dirt here. Looks like some color loss right there. Not sure how that happened. Could have been something fell on there, or could have been a rub. And what's this down here?
Yeah, I thought it might have been like moisture related.
Doesn't go through.
Okay.
So I don't know what that is.
Just a little bit of like staining, right? Of some kind.
Could be. Yeah, it could be some kind of staining. Yeah. I'll see what I can do about that.
Okay.
A little bit of dirt here and a little bit of. Okay, there's a little bit of a tide mark here, as you can see. Right there from a water stain, or the minerals in the water, actually, that stay behind right there. So that might be a stain of some sort. But it didn't go through to the back cover, so that's good. Okay. Okay. Let's look at the interior real quick. See what we got. This is Action 373, by the way. Aha, dog ears. All right, you got to be careful turning those back because you can clip them off. So I'll leave them like that until I humidify it.
Okay.
And as we see here, a little sweat stain there. And yeah, that looks like Kurt Swan, all right.
Such a good book. The little tug of war match between
that's cute, isn't it?
And crypto.
That's cute. Interior looks good. Little bit of tanning up here, but very little. Pages are a little crunchy, but probably because of that moisture. See, there's a little wave down here. I don't know if you can tell that in the camera,
We
Just a
can see
little
it.
bit of
Mhm.
a little waviness there. Yeah. Again, with a press, that's zero problem. Yeah, I don't think there's much to see here in the interior. And again, this is a square bound book, so you don't have to worry about the staples going through so much. Here's another little sweat stain, so that whatever happened to this comic, it somehow penetrated just that bottom hole in the staple there
Mm.
and caused that sweat stain there. That whatever that is, I guess it's a little rust that migrated to the paper or the beginning of it.
Mhm.
Right, but not bad, not bad, not too bad.
Yeah, not bad on, especially on that back. It doesn't
Yeah,
like
yeah,
doesn't bleed through or anything like that.
yeah. All right, so a couple things here. The spine, I can try to correct the spine somewhat.
Oh, okay.
Um, it's tricky.
Yeah.
It's not terrible, which is why I think I can attempt it, right? But you humidify the book, and then you sort of massage this here. You massage it a little bit, like that kind of thing,
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
move it, right?
Kinda straighten it. Mhm.
And sometimes that glue will, you know, kind of loosen a bit, and you can move the cover a little bit, and actually all the pages move over a little bit.
Okay.
It's one of those things that works some of the time for some reason. I guess it depends on type of glue they used in there or whatever. Sometimes they won't budge. But when I press it, I use a spacer, right? So something like,
Yeah.
I'll have the spacer here
Mhm.
so that you put pressure on it, and it's gonna kind of press into the spacer a bit. Hopefully that'll straighten it out even more.
Okay.
All right. So yeah.
And
So
so, yeah, the I guess, in terms of the differences between pressing a standard book versus, uh, you know, a square bound,
mhm.
you just need to, I guess, have that spacer you mentioned to match the height of the book.
Almost. You have to give it a little bit lower
Mhm.
because when you press it, it's going to compress the book down a bit, right? So it's you want it just a lit. Just I mean, when I mean a little bit, I mean a millimeter.
A
Okay,
millimeter. Okay.
so
So
that
almost even.
almost even, so that when the press comes down, it'll even it out. All right. So I already have spacers for different size square bound
Mhm.
comics.
Yeah.
Like this is what is this, an 80 pager?
I wanna say 80.
Let me see. They number them, so that helps. 64 pager plus the covers, so 68 pages.
68 pages. Okay.
Yep. So I do have a spacer for 68 pagers. So that's good. I think that this is going to be look a lot better because it's very wavy.
Mhm.
I mean, when you put your hand here, it's like, yeah, you can feel the ups and downs, for sure. So it's gonna definitely lay flatter. Hopefully the spine will be straighter.
Mhm.
All right. All right. So let's look at let's talk about this here. So after pressing, I suggest we use a little bit of glue there, a little
Okay.
bit of wheat paste,
Yeah.
because this is very ragged.
Yeah.
And over here, no, that's okay. There's a little bit of a rip here,
Mhm.
little tear right
Mhm.
there. Probably use a little wheat paste there as well. And then down here,
Yes. That as well. I'll
yeah,
like tape it. like attach it and add the wheat paste?
Yeah, I will put the wheat paste on this here, and it did rip more on the inside.
Okay.
If it rips on here, it's better because then you can't see it. But regardless, I will do my best to hide so
Yeah.
that you can't see that that little gap there. All right.
Yeah. I recall you saying when the one of the things, the nice benefits of using that wheat paste is it um, kind of I think you used the word like it reattaches and kind of like creates a new seal
Correct.
on the paper.
Right.
Right.
Capillary action
Hmm.
will create a seal there.
Yeah.
Right. It's not magic, but it certainly will be better than having that gap there.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And the more you open this comic, the more you're going to be widening this gap, and and that split will keep going. So, again, some people are like, well, they use glue on the spine already, right?
Right.
So you're not really doing anything much different there. Here, obviously, would be just to help the integrity of this edge. Okay.
Hmm.
All right. So let's see what the plan is here. Paste on, well, that's actually later. We'll try to do this chronologically here. So first things first, clean. I would say this only needs a basic clean.
Hmm.
I'm going to use Absorbing on this because the color I may use eraser shavings, but it doesn't look so bad that it'll need it to me.
Yeah.
Okay, but I'll put that as a possibility. All right. What else? Let's look at the back cover. Yeah, back cover. I got those weird. I'm not sure what those are. We'll see. We'll look at. I'll put here stain removal, and that may entail. That may entail using some lighter fluid, but I'm only going to use that in the white spaces here.
Okay.
I'm not going to use it over here because I'm afraid that the color could be released there.
Mm-hmm.
On this edge here, I might try some magic eraser on that. If it doesn't, this is all if it doesn't come out with the basic techniques. Okay, I always go from the less intrusive to the more intrusive. Okay. All right. I'm not going to really do anything about that staple, Taku.
Yeah.
I don't want to disengage that staple there.
Yeah. No, I mean that's one of those. It is what it is kind of situations, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could dig out that staple, right? I could, because remember, this is not one staple like this. This staple, it goes all the way to the back.
Yeah.
So I'd have to straighten this out, and then I'd have to move the book, straighten up the back part out, and then take out the staple, straighten it, take out, remove the rust, and then reinsert it.
No.
Can it be done? Yes. But there's a lot of risk.
Yeah.
So I'd say that's not enough to warrant that.
Right.
I'm gonna try to scrape that a little bit, but that's it.
Yeah.
And this back staple here, yeah, it's got a little bit of rust, but I may try to move the prong up a bit and see how bad it is. And if I could try to remove it with a file, but it's so little, I don't think it's worth the
Yeah,
risk.
I think, yeah, you don't have to, I think, work on that staple at all.
Yeah, it's
It's
just
what it
not
is.
worth the risk to me.
Yeah.
Look at that roller right there. Okay, all right, so let's do that. Then we're talking about spacer. Oh no, hold on. Before we do that, we're going to try to do straighten the spine after humidifying, and then put the spacer, and then hot press. Now square bounds, you got to press them a little bit longer. So I'm going to say a 40-minute hot press, and then 12-hour cold. And again, we reevaluate after all this to see if there's any further intervention needed. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Anything else?
No. I just want to remind the chat, if you guys have any questions about Roger's methods or specific how he addresses specific issues with books, please,
Hey, Comic Vet, Chris, how you doing, buddy? Good to see you here. Ken, good to see you here as well.
Yeah.
Dreamer DC Comics, I don't think I know you, but good to see you here. Dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Oh boy. All right, we got one left, people.
And this one, so I had this book coming, and then after you and I connected online, it came the very next day, and I knew right off the bat that this is one I wanted to send to you because it's just a book I love. I absolutely adore this book.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, that's
yeah,
it's your prerogative.
Yeah.
Okay, great. 12-cent Lois Lane. Yeah, very funny. I love the Lois Lane covers. They're so whimsical and clever. And of course the baby got spanked with the racket, and that thing got absolutely demolished. And the brush as well got broken in half.
Right.
I mean, this is comic book, quintessential stuff here, right?
The child abuse covers.
Yeah, right. Nowadays it would be, but I had a few of these done to me, let me tell you. Okay. All right. So offhand, it's got a severe spine roll.
Yeah, and you're gonna want to look at the inside of this when you open it up. It's hanging on by a thread in terms of the staples.
It's got almost a half an inch spine roll. That's a pretty good spine roll there. Okay. Very dirty. Right off the bat, you can see that. Lots of dirt squiggles here.
Mm-hmm.
And a very, very good amount of spine stress there.
Yeah.
Obviously, this was the spine roll. It was spine rolled, and then it was pressured so that it created the spine stress here. But otherwise than that, the integrity of the comic looks okay from this angle, at least. I don't see any water intrusion offhand. But very dirty. This is going to take a lot of cleaning. But doesn't look like anything deep, though. It looks just mostly surface stuff.
Yeah, I think, in terms of the color and everything, it just looks great still.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
There's a little chunk missing down here.
Mm-hmm.
Very ragged edge, again, because of the spine roll. And again, this it curled down, and thus every time that you would pick it up, you're actually flicking of the edge of the
Yeah.
comic.
Yeah, it's been
So
used.
there's a chunk missing here, chunk missing there, and there's one hanging on by a thread there, a chunk missing there, and there's a loose chunk right there. So yeah, very, very rough edge there. Let's look at the back. I think we did. It looks like dirt there, all along the edges. Dirt in here. There's a chunk missing on the spine there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's see if it might be in the interior here. Hold on. Let's take a look. Nope. It's missing. Chunk missing there. And a little bitty one, a little divot there. And there's a cut there.
Mm.
So this one is, to me, a candidate for filling in those cuts, those tears with some glue.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. That one obviously is a hole, but the tear itself I can glue.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Doesn't look like any staining at all. Looks like all surface dirt, a lot of it. And a lot. Look at the stress lines, how far over they come.
I'm thinking this one, when you open the book, you'll see though.
Mm-hmm.
This one is one where I think you're going to have to remove the cover. And like you mentioned, using that wheat paste to just kind of reconstruct that spine.
Oh, I see what you mean. This top staple here.
Yeah, it's barely hanging on, Roger. I mean, it'll probably pop when you as it pop right there.
We'll see. We'll see what
it's
we can do.
Hanging off.
That is it's a miracle it's on there. Let's just put it that way. Interior looks a little bit creamy.
Okay.
But not at all brittle, pretty supple.
Yeah, the paper quality is still.
Yeah, it's not too bad. Little dog ear there. We'll take care of that after we humidify. We don't want to turn that now and break it off. Hey, no, man, if you see this wedding stuff going on here. Yeah, there's really not much to talk about on the interior. Let's look at the staples here on the inside. When it's this much of a spine roll, I can't even see where the staples are down there.
This one is going to pose some challenges, I would imagine, as well.
Yes and no. Where the heck are the staples on this thing? I tell you, every page is like they're not there. All right, hold on. Let me flip this my way. Let me flip this my way and see if I can figure it out.
I think you're close.
I'm close. Yeah. It's gotta be one of these pages here. There it is.
Okay.
There it is.
Yeah, it's popped on that one.
Actually, it's not.
It's not?
No.
Okay.
It's notice right there, because of the roll, it widened the holes, but it looks to me like that center is still on.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, this would be struggling to get a 2 here. Because of that severe spine roll and the rips there.
Right.
Wow, it's almost like a draped over there.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the folds are keeping the book together.
Yes, correct. Yeah. Okay, so first things first, we got to take care of that spine roll. Because you can't really do much. I'm not even sure how much I'm going to clean this with that spine roll.
Right.
So first things first, we're going to get rid of that thing. And yeah, for this one, I'm going to have to press this flat.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me see. This is Lois
Yeah.
Lane.
Would you do it like? Would you want to do the cover separate and then the book separate?
I think we can try to do it with the comic.
Oh, okay.
Let me think about that.
Yeah.
Because I've never encountered a drape fold like that before.
This is one where, like that spine, you mentioned like filling in the holes and all that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even mind if you like taped it, and kind of just strengthened the, fibers on the interior part of that and use that as, and then, but I know you have to do that after you press it, right?
Yeah. I really do not want to tape this comic.
Yeah. Okay.
I think we can take care of it with a little bit of glue.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. So just kind of like shape it and then kind of use the glue to.
Yeah. Let's see. First thing is we got to remove that spine roll.
All right.
And what I'm going to do there is humidify it. Probably a good. Usually I would do this with steam, but I might like leave this one overnight in just a water with the water just normally seeping into it, because I want to get it moist, very moist, to the point where it penetrates the whole comic.
Oh, okay.
And steam, although it gets through most of it, usually doesn't get through all of it.
Mm-hmm.
But because we have such a severe spine roll, I want to make sure that all the pages are able to fold back.
Gotcha.
Right? So, yeah, that's what I think. First plan of attack is that spine roll. Once we do that, get that out of the way, then we're going to do a deep clean. And I think this is going to take gum eraser and Absorine for sure.
Okay.
I don't really see any need for any kind of liquids or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then we're going to give it a hot press. Yeah. Then we're going to give it a hot press for 30 minutes should do it, because I'm already going to remove the spine roll, hopefully by that point. And cold press, definitely 12, maybe 14 hours. A spine roll that severe. Actually, no, but I'm going to have it already removed. So no, 12 hours should do it. Okay. Yeah, 12 hours should do it. Okay, that's good. Then we can re-examine the staple areas and use a little bit of wheat paste. To strengthen. And we might need to put a little bit
along the edges. Mm-hmm.
See that tear there?
Yeah.
And this raggedness here, it's.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that it depends. If the spine roll is removed enough and this is recessed back enough, then we might not need more. Yeah. But definitely for there, we will need.
Yeah.
Okay. And up here, it looks like a little bit one as well.
Yeah. So on a spine roll in this situation where we, would we kind of compensate just a little, overcompensate the other way, just so that the edges um, lay flat on that first page.
Well, it shouldn't be necessary to overcompensate because this part is already removed pretty much. You already
Oh, I see.
removed here a little bit, so
Yeah,
I think once you straighten it, it's going to be fine.
yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's necessary. I mean, again, I'll reevaluate once I get the spine removal and see where that edge lays.
Hmm.
But I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, I don't think it's necessary. Yeah. So we paste to strengthen and then reevaluate. I might have to clean it again afterwards. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens again, because I don't want to really mess with it like this. The spine here, I got to be very careful cleaning it because it's so many cuts into it.
Right.
So I got to be careful there, because if
And
you use an eraser there and it catches, forget it. So that's not a good idea.
yeah, the cover on this one just felt very weak. Like it was just weak
Well,
in
yeah,
terms of like, yeah.
Again, as you can see here, there's tear there, tear there.
Yeah.
So what's holding on is the little bit of the cover that's under that staple. And the
Yeah.
same thing up here,
Right.
because it's folding back. You know how, like, when you have a like aluminum foil or whatever, and you're folding it out of the roll, it's like that. It's like this whole thing is folding over out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so definitely that's going to need to be, we're going to have to use that wheat paste on there, or
Yeah.
else, you're every time you open the comic, you're going to just roll it out of the staples. So, so I think that would be my suggestion right there.
Okay.
So, anything else?
No, I think we've put together pretty good plan here.
You gotta be very careful inserting this comic back in the bag, by the way. All right. So we have our plan. Let me go back up here. There you go, so you can see me. And yeah, so some really challenging comics you got there, Tucker. But me, I like a challenge. So thank you for trusting me once again with these.
Yes. And again, I give you full control to do whatever you feel is necessary.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it's just about getting the books looking their best, and not having, considering that we want them lasting for another 50 years, right? And
Right.
that Lois Lane book, the with that role and everything, it's if we can resuscitate it, it would be amazing.
It's on life support right now.
It's
That's for
on life
sure.
support right now.
Yeah. So we're gonna see what we can do to make it less acute. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
My old health department days are coming through here. So yeah. So what I'll do is I'm going to take pictures before I start working on anything, so that we'll have a baseline. And I might take a few videos here and there of what I do down in the garage with them and all that. So I can compile a video maybe for it. And then I will keep you updated.
Yep.
On the status. And if I need your input or your permission for certain things that may occur, that may arise. Listen, as I keep telling you, right? Every comic is like its own human being. You know how unique we are, right? we have our own little faults, we have our strengths, we have our frailties, and we have our how can I say this? Our little eccentricities, right? And comics are the same way, especially once they've gone through a lifetime like these have, right?
Yep.
So what we're doing today is our best guess, essentially, of what will occur and what we can do to intervene, right?
Hmm.
But there's going to be curveballs along the way. I guarantee you. It always happens. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've said, "Oh, this is piece of cake," and it's a nightmare. And others are like, "Oh, this is going to be awful," and it went smooth as silk. So
Yeah,
you just don't know for sure what's going to happen. So
absolutely.
I'll
Yeah.
keep you updated. I'm probably going to start with the I'll probably start with the Teen Titans
Okay.
because that
Yeah.
has the one with the mold, and that's going to take some babying, so
That's a
when
good,
I have
that's a
when
good
I have
one.
time, it's going to be babied. um, yeah, Kat. I look forward to seeing it as well. And again, I will take pictures. I mean, I don't know if you want me to. Once I finish one, I don't know if you want to put it on Instagram or if you just want to wait and do the whole shebang. Whatever you say.
Yeah. I mean, if you could send updates, and I don't mind you sharing those, or if you want to do that together. But for the most part, I'm just gonna like kind of just detach from the process, let you work,
All
and
right.
then I'll just get a message from you. Yeah, the books are ready, and then when I get them, that's when we'll go over for the final results
Okay. Yeah.
and look at them
Well,
together.
if you want to keep it a surprise, I can do that. I'll keep my own pictures, and I'll give you an update, but I won't. If you want to have like a Christmas moment, then that's fine as well. I can do that.
Oh, we'll cover before and after during that session as well. Yeah. So
Okay.
yeah, please chronicle everything, and then
All right.
we'll
All right. So that's what I'll do. I'll take a picture of everything beforehand, and maybe even during the process, so
yeah.
you can see. And I might, I might text you and say, hey, I think I got most of the mold off, but it might be a good idea to stop here. What do you think? And then you let me know, things like that. So
That
we'll
sounds like a
we'll,
good plan.
we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. All right. So probably is going to take me a couple of weeks, I would say.
Yep.
Between this, I have my own stuff I'm working on, and I have work to do and all that stuff as well. But
Yeah.
this to me is like fun, right? Because you go through a day of work and you're like, ugh, and I'm like, okay, what can I do to liven it up? I'm gonna work on Otaku's comics, That's to me, that's the reward,
This for me as well is like just I think the pinnacle of my like channel. It's absolutely, I have uh so much fun with you, Roger, just doing this whole process. And it's again, thank you so much for spending some time with my books. And we're gonna see, yeah, the results in a few weeks, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, I'd say let's say what day is today? What 23rd, right?
23rd. Hmm.
So definitely by the middle of April, this will be done one way one way or the other.
Yeah,
And you
no rush.
did send me a shipping label, so that's going to be easy peasy. And thank you for the very nice note, by the way. I really appreciate your kind words there. And again, we've done this a couple times before, and I think every time I've gotten a little more experience and a little I've honed the process a little bit better. So if you had sent me these the first time, you're not going to get the results you're going to get this time.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, oh, this is going to be a completely different like process from previous because you've just learned so much, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I like the mold thing. I mean, I would have been like befuddled about what to do about that.
Hmm.
So, but now I'm 85% confident. Let's put it that way.
Nice. Yeah. Good. We got to,
You know, it's a lot of people, they try to they use the bluster and no, I try to give it to you straight. I make no guarantees, but I will do my level best, like they were my own comics. So that's all I can do.
yep.
All right.
All right, Roger. Well, yeah, thank you for going over this with us tonight, and we'll just wait and see. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And everybody stay tuned. Remember, Otaku's got some great videos out there as well. Big Jim Lee fan, of course. And I'm surprised I didn't get any Jim Lee in here. But anyway, I guess he doesn't trust me that much yet. But, maybe in some future time. I'm just kidding about that. I'm just kidding.
All right, guys. In another year, Roger will be the ultimate old comic.
Oh, boy.
All right. Thanks for hanging out with us. And we'll see you here in a couple weeks with the final results. So just, stay close to our channels. We'll give progress reports when needed. But yeah, we'll get that to that session when the books arrive.
Yeah. Thanks, Damien. Thanks, Kat, for sticking with us. Definitely, this is going to be a lot of fun.
All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.